Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Kindness, and today I have with me Michael Vervena, VP of Sales and Marketing at iGUIDE. Michael, thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. Yes.
My pleasure. We're recording on December 27th, and this is the last thing I'm doing before a 2-week vacation in Japan and South Korea.
Nice.
So I am one happy camper today, basically. Made it through the year. Uh, so, if I'm not mistaken, if according to LinkedIn, you are Toronto-based,
Yes.
which December 27, you guys should be freezing, but at least I'm in Ohio right now in the northern U.S. It's been a ridiculously warm Christmas season. How's it been in Toronto?
Yeah, it's been pouring rain here all day. So yes, it's not the white Christmas my kids were hoping for, but it was still it was a good time with family and yeah, we didn't freeze to death, so I was okay too.
Okay, that's good. That's good. We always give the guest a chance to give the elevator pitch. What is iGuide?
Sure. Yeah, we're a property documentation I guess company would say is we have a camera system which you could see over my one shoulder here, but it's a camera system that uses lidar measurement technology tied in with 360 panoramic images to document the built world. You can also, take images outside as well, but it's really designed to measure and create digital twins of interior spaces. So that could be a residential home, it could be an apartment building, it could be a hospital, it could be any size of shape of a property. So it's a fast and efficient way to capture and document kind of all the details and all this data of the built world and digitize that. And I guess just to give a little bit more background, we started about 10 years ago in this space, and we started mostly in the residential real estate world and commercial brokerage services. So it was used to market and sell, homes and properties is what's the primary use for it. We started in Canada. So we have, I think over 20% of the homes that sold in the last, for the last 3 concurrent months had an iGuide on it. So, over 20% market share in Canada. And we have thousands of service providers in the US. And about six years ago, we had some of our first customers who were in the insurance world buying our technology to document insurance claims and using it for the floor plans and the measurements and to quickly document those spaces so they had um, a comprehensive documentation of what the damage had been done to either residential property or commercial properties, either in a flood, uh, a fire, or even just any other type of PNC claim where the property itself was damaged. So, and that we have made a real concerted effort into the insurance claims world here in the last I would say in the last 2 to 3 years, where a concerted effort of bringing on more customers that are either uh, IA firms, so independent adjusting firms, typically with large loss. We have fire investigation companies that use our tech for their services, even insurance companies themselves who have those capabilities in-house use our tech, to engineering firms that are doing, assessments of damages on buildings. If a storm is rolled through, it could be a hurricane or whatever, and they're using our tech to document those spaces quickly and comprehensively.
Okay. Okay, so heavily used on the large claims size
Mhm.
side. Okay, so it looks pretty small. What is that? A foot,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, pretty much, probably approximate that. Very light,
Okay.
carrying in to pick up. Has a Ricoh Theta Z1 on it, and that's what's taking the panoramic images. And then we tie that with our base is running a LiDAR time of flight laser, which accurately measures a space, and so it's capturing thousands of scan points around a room within seconds, and then you can move on to that next space, and it ties that data to the image data itself. So you have the ability to, well, what happens is you process that data, you upload that data to us, we draft floor plans, and also we can also provide ESXs. So for, Xactimate sketches on claims, and that can be used in that claims process. And we quickly return that to you so that you can then start on your claim faster. So it allows people to basically walk through a space, understand a space, and start that claims process. So if you have a team that, there's companies out there that are doing virtual estimating. So they have one person doing the capture services, uploading that data to someone back at the office. And so they can quickly start on that claim just to speed up that whole claims process, and then communicate that back to either the policyholder or the insurance company, and where they can quickly now process those claims because they have all the data, the measurements, and the understanding of exactly what has happened, and to damage that property. So
Okay. So how long does it take per room?
sure, a couple, literally, 3 to 4 seconds, you can scan a room. So depending on how many scan points, so that's each panoramic 360 panoramic view is going to take several seconds. Depending on if you have the HDR on or off, it's going to take a little bit longer. And so it quickly scans a room. So you could capture, let's say, a 2,500 square foot home, or a 3,000 square foot home in up to 15 minutes. Now, if you want more comprehensive information, more scans, more photographic information, you could spend a little bit more time and do additional scans to capture that space. You also have the ability to take close-ups with, let's say, an iPhone, or any type of mobile device. You could take close-ups of damage and add those images or notes into as annotations into the 360 panoramic or the 3D tour itself, into the digital twin. So now you can document space as you're going along. You could maybe call out a point of origin of the fire or the point of origin of a leak or some sort of damage. You can show, close up of extenuous damage in a room, a window, or, if it's mold or whatever it is. You can take those close up photos and then add them into the 3D tour. What that provides is context of where it lives in that space. So it allows anybody looking at it, if you or I, or a layperson, or an IA who has never stepped, a staff adjuster who's never stepped foot into a property claim, they can now visualize that whole space, understand the context of it, and be able to walk around that space. So what's unique to our 3D model is that we put in a 2D floor plan as you are walking through the space. On the left-hand side of our 3D tour, you can see where you are on a map, and that's a navigational map, which allows you to walk through that space, understand what direction you're looking in, and then really builds an understanding of a complete of that complete fit and flow of that building or that home. And so now you understand context of where maybe a damage started, where it spread to, how it affected the rest of the home. And if it's a flood, you can see the whole footprint of that property so that you can quickly get estimates on building materials and put that into software like Verisk's Xactimate to get those claims. So that whole process can be, from upload to us, we can draft those floor plans, and on average, we turn those around in about 6 hours, and 24 hours for ESX claim. The what we have is a new product that where we're using AI to draft the floor plans, and that translates into automatically into a ESX sketch for Verisk. And so you can, within minutes of upload, you can grab, your ESX file and start on that claims process and virtually be able to walk through that space. So from someone scanning damages of a property and uploading it within minutes, someone back at an office could actually start on that claims process. So this expedites that whole claims process, allows people to get context and understanding of what happened, and quickly, try to process that claim so that policyholders are, you're making that customer service experience better for policyholders, everybody along the claims process understanding how much money they have to set aside, and what work needs to be done. So it it helps expand transparency and understanding of a difficult process and difficult time.
Okay, so my first concern when you started talking about it was that this thing probably creates gigantic files, uh, given everything that it's capturing. But it sounds like that's not really my problem as the carrier, because you're processing them
Mhm.
into an exactimate file.
Yeah. Actually, our file sizes are not too large. So
Okay.
an average home, would be under a gig to maybe a couple gigs. So just depending on,
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So really, uh, a
not a lot.
a a cheap what's it called, memory
Thumb drive.
card
Yeah.
could easily do 120 homes, more than, yeah, okay. That also means not so hard to transmit it back. Okay,
Sure.
so it's just a lot
And
of
as you
math.
add in more data and more photographs and stuff, that's just going to burden it a little bit more. But, quite often when you're going in there, you're trying to get as much comprehensive data as you want, because
Hmm.
you don't often know what you may or may not need or need to understand. So the more data you have, the better to answer questions after the fact, or if you're talking to a staff adjuster and they're asking questions about what happened, and you're like, oh, I'm not sure. Let's go in and investigate. There's this collaboration that you can have, or your ability to grab images, photographic images, and verify, or measurements to verify, oh yeah, we have the data, and we can answer those questions. So it helps all, speed up that process on the back end, which quite often when you're going through a lot of claims, especially if there's some sort of cat event or some sort of a storm event where you're going through multiple houses in a day, the people that are capturing that data, if it's an IA firm, if restoration contractor or mitigation company, they're going through multiple homes in a day, and sometimes you don't remember all that context. So having all that data and having it comprehensive is just allows you to go back and do a post analysis on the what may have happened, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the other question I'm always wondering about is integration into my system. So given a lot of insurance companies are, have crappy systems, we've made strong efforts on that, but it if it exports to Xactimate, then does it really need to plug into my claim system elsewhere, or just as long as it can connect with Xactimate, I can pretty much use its capabilities without having to integrate it?
Yeah, yeah. So for sure, and there's different processes, so I can't speak to them all, but for sure, it's a link to a file that is downloadable and that you could self-host if you want. So on the fire investigation side, especially if they're going into courtrooms, they want to have that data self-hosted and on their own thumb drive, because of just being able to go into a courtroom and actually walk someone through the tour. Some companies, because of security and data, they want to self-host and own that data themselves. So that's a differentiator with us. Or we can host it on our secure portal as well, where only you have access to it. You can lock it and you can share those links with whomever you deem is appropriate enough to look at that data, that properties. So yeah, there's multiple different ways of having those links. You can grab the images from there, put them into PDF reports, because the industry's still using PDF reports in a lot of cases, even though they have this 3D walkthrough that could link and show them links to exactly, this is the origin of the fire, this is the damage. They still have to write out a report. And that, I think that's a challenge for a lot of people working in this space is compiling information of a built world, taking photographs, trying to put context around those photographs, writing up images, and trying to convey that in a piece of paper, this 3D built world, into a two-dimensional piece of paper with photos that have no, it's hard to understand. Well, where is that in relation to the origin of the leak, or to this other room? And so when you can give someone that context, it helps tell that story of what happened at that, that claim much easier. And it's just a great way to communicate.
What is the pricing like for the hardware and the service?
Yeah, the camera system, I mean, the camera system's, essentially it's just, I gotta switch from Canadian dollars to US dollars. I go back and forth, but we're around just over the $2,000 range for the camera system. And then the processing fees we have multiple different products for documenting space. So it could be, just depending on the size of the space as well. So we have, for an average house, it could be anywhere from $8.99 up to, $100, depending if you need ESX, if you need more comprehensive drafting services. We have I guess a spectrum of products that offer and are tailored to the needs of the particular person using it. So where you have a restoration contractor may not need as much information or as comprehensive data as an engineer going to do a post-mortem on an apartment building. And if it's a larger space, it's going to be a little bit more. So it's hard to
Okay.
quantify the
Mm.
dollars and cents there, but yeah, I mean, that kind of gives you an idea. So, and we're not a subscription based, most of our services are not subscription based. Uh, we have project based, so it's pay to play. So as you use it, you get that file, you can download it. Again, you can self-host it, or you can host it with us. So that you're not beholden to us to have that data live on, where, I think with other companies out there, you're constantly beholden to them to pay for that data and own that data.
Okay, yeah. The couple thousand bucks for the camera, not not crazy expensive for the use case.
No, well, you know what the
Makes a lot
thing
of
is?
sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's about time savings, right? So if you can go into a space and spend, an hour or less time, or half an hour, or the larger the spaces that you're working on, you're going to be spending a lot less time there. And then you can also change your model. So it just depends on the model. If you're doing your claims yourself, it gives you that reminder, the data to go back to, and to be able to, make you more efficient as an independent adjuster or contractor. If you've got your system set up so that you have someone else doing the estimating, someone else sitting back at their desk, they're not sitting behind a windshield and driving from claim to claim, and you have multiple people going to the same claims, you could have one person documenting and sharing that data, and then they can move on to the next aspect of their job. If they're a mitigation company, they can start the mitigation process. So they could do a post mitigation scan, and then, post a pre-mitigation scan, and then a post-mitigation scan, so they can show the before and after. They can even document throughout the process, so they can show where the equipment was laid out. And that helps, with transparency, and to show everybody along the, I guess, the claims process, so that we went through the necessary steps to manage that claim appropriately, following the guidelines, and making sure that we dried it out and we cleaned it properly, and that the policy holder and the insurance company, for the dollars that they're spending to reclaim that property, are all, copacetic and up to snuff, I guess is how I'll say it, is that, what they paid for, they got, and everybody can be assured that, oh, okay, my house was reclaimed, you know, in the right manner. So to go back, if it's saving you time and that process is laid out, it saves everybody time along, I think along the supply chain, right up to the carrier from the policyholder.
Yeah, fantastic. Um, any conferences in the spring that you know that you guys will be at for claims decision makers that want to put
Yeah,
hands on it, so to speak?
certainly. Yeah, we go to the PLRB shows. Those are the big ones that we do attend, just because there's a lot of restoration and claims people there. I don't have the list in front of me. I know that we attended quite a few this year, so um, I'm not sure what is solidified on the docket. So unfortunately, I can maybe send that to you, and
Hmm,
we can
perfect.
a link on that, and then that way, if anybody wants to meet with us, they can do that as well. Yeah.
Awesome. And for those that want to learn more, I will have your LinkedIn and the company website
Yeah.
on the show notes. And the website is goiguide.com. So super easy, goiguide.com. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.